Hi Astro friends, this is Melanie here in Victoria, Beacon Hill Park, or rather the bit of the wild side of it, reaching out here over Beacon Hill towards the ocean. And it's 5 p.m. here today on the 18th of March, the second last day of Pisces and of winter, and it's warm. Spring is coming just on time in Victoria here on the west coast. So happy, no more coats actually, at least these days. So I felt called to do a little video shoot just for the transition into spring and for the full moon that comes with it. So there'll be a full moon on Wednesday evening, just at the very beginning of Libra, with the sun having just entered Aries, just after spring equinox, which will be in the afternoon. So I don't have the exact data here now, but it's between 2 and 3 p.m. and the full moon is exact in the evening. I will also post a chart and of course also the Astro News blog post for more details. So, but here what I'm doing is also what this full moon is about. In other words, from the solar perspective, at the very first degree of Aries, it's about emergence. It's about showing up. Maybe you've been in hibernation. I mean, nature has been naturally in hibernation, but maybe you have also been a bit more in a passive, in a retreated, in a quiet space. But now with Aries, it's time, Aries fire, it's time to actually get into action and also to emerge, to show up in your authentic self, to just give things a shot and to do something fresh and new and be fresh and new in the moment, in your presence. And Aries is about a precedent, an emergence, maybe an emergency even, right? Sometimes feel like, yes, there's really a lot of pressure, I really gotta act now. Or you feel really called and you're very spontaneous without all too much consideration, or I should say contemplation and deliberation. Libra is the opposite sign, of course, where the moon will be. And Libra is rather weighing, balancing, negotiating, coordinating. So maybe that's happening for you as well. And the two sides of your proactive self with Aries and somebody else's, and somebody else in the picture whom you need to negotiate with, especially partnerships, relationships of all kinds, they always become very prominent under the full moon. Maybe there's a balance to be struck with the full moon axis, and especially also with Libra, and also for yourself. So what brings you into balance with all the busy activity of getting the new season started, and maybe fresh projects or fresh initiatives of all sorts. So also be in balance. So today was a very active day for me. Got up early and a lot of things to felt called to do, and yet now I just felt like, let's go out and just sit quietly, do some video wasn't even on my mind, right? So this is very spontaneous. So in other words, modeling the Aries side. And the sun in Aries also comes with Chiron. Chiron has just recently entered Aries. If you remember, that was in February. February 18th is when Chiron finally entered Aries and will be there in Aries until 2026. Last year Chiron was already in Aries from April till September, so that was a little preview, but now it's for real. So what's that all about? So Aries is a warrior energy actually, and very assertive. And so there are young, and it's also young, fresh, baby step quality, right? Everything is starting initiatives, and it has to do with our early life and it has to do, of course, with the young ones. So as we're seeing just now with a Chiron freshly in Aries, there's lots of activities in terms of school strikes, for example, for climate to stand up, because the climate is imbalanced and something needs to be done. It's an emergency. That's why there's an emergence. And the young warrior are out there consistently on Fridays. So the climate, social climate, is really changing. And there's lots of more people will get into action, stand up, do something that for whatever in their lives, whether it's privately or whether it's in society, the whole humanities behavior needs action, and because things are out of balance. So this is really happening now, and maybe that's showing up in your life as well. So I'd like to encourage you to look into areas in your life, especially as a hint where Aries is in your chart. That would point you to those areas. Could be the houses, of course, the houses. Maybe you have planets in Aries. Maybe you have your sun or moon or rising sun in Aries. These are the areas of life, if you're not aware of them yet, to actually show up and make a presence, make an appearance, and just get something started. And notice how healing even that is. Aries says, I get the ball rolling. I do something because if it doesn't work out, well, at least I gave it a shot and I can do something different. So yeah, I'd like to encourage you. Courage is also a quality of Aries. Sometimes even unconscious. It's not even so much really. Courage is more like an initiative, a strong drive. Aries is ruled by Mars, to step into action. And it doesn't have to be assertion, doesn't have to be aggressive. It's just yeah, activating. So I leave it with that, and there's more to the full moon, of course. You can always read that up with a blog post. And I would like to invite you also to the Spring Activation Parlor, Tune-UP Parlour, on the 21st, if you haven't seen that yet, and also extra groups on the 25th. So each day I have 2 groups that you could join. If one day doesn't work, maybe the other will. And it's always intimate groups, so there's always a lot of personal sharing and connection and confidentiality. So it's not like getting lost in the crowd of a big online group or something. So this is like the old ways in the new world, where we actually come together, and of course you can also join us online. So yeah, that one is on. And of course there's also the Embody Astrology is coming back on Saturday the 23rd. So if you'd like to experience and experiment with actually having your own direct embodied experience of the archetypes, just check it out. It's actually hard to describe. It's better to actually experience it. So that's on Saturday afternoon in a beautiful space that overlooks the ocean. And yeah, you're most welcome to that. I'll continue my walk now, and I wish you a wonderful transition into spring, and I see you there, hopefully in person. And otherwise, you see me again with more videos. Take care. Bye.